from the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Grumpy Studio. We bring you the pride of this station. The grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. Very nice, very nice. You know where you go, back in the corner. Look at the camera. There you go. Greetings, friends. It's a special occasion tonight. Remember, I was joking a couple of weeks ago and I said, gee, by February, I would love to see 60 subscribers, at least. I said 100, but there, no way. Well, thanks to my UK subscriber, he got me boosted to the big 6-0. Yes, behind the scenes, he worked some magic. And Grumpy went from 55 overnight to 60. Unbelievable. He really works some magic. I've been on here for months begging. Didn't work. Not at all. I kept saying, gee, you know, it took me forever to get to 55. And when I hit 55, I was like, well, it would be nice if we could get to 60. And I kept dropping the hints. It would be nice to get to 60. And I kept dropping the hints. Finally, I gave up. Then all of a sudden, whatever magic he worked, bingo, in less than 24 hours, from 55 to 60. Outstanding. I just, as they say in the UK, I was over the moon. Now, my UK subscriber is connected to a couple other content creators. And right now, one of the content creators that he's connected with is doing a live stream. Otherwise, I know he would be here. Now, maybe I don't know when that stream is going to end. If it ends before we wrap it up for the night, I'll see him up there, because right now I'm at my favorite 0000. So nobody right now is watching Grumpy live. But, like I say, if the stream ends with the content creator that he is connected with, he'll be here. Because I know he's probably watching. He's going, goddamn Grumpy, you had to go live when you know I'm somewhere else. That's okay. That's the wondrous glory of YouTube and Faceplant. Because if you miss it, you can always go in and watch it later. Now, if the volume is too loud, I went back to a Moon microphone. Now this, if you remember, is an XLR microphone. But I have that converter. I'll show it to you. See this converter here? This little device, believe it or not, is hooked to 5-volt USB. It converts to 48 volts to power this microphone and turn it from an XLR microphone to a USB microphone. I never knew these things existed. And my buddy, the one that passed away and had all the microphones, had this in a little box. And I had no idea what it is. I spotted it. I saw it had an XLR plug, and then a USB plug, and a headphone plug. And I was like, what is this thing? So I gargled it, only to find out that it converts any XLR microphone to a USB microphone. Whoa! The only problem is getting the audio level properly adjusted. Now, right now, I'm watching my audio levels on Prism, and it is staying in the green. I don't know if it's going to be normal or too loud on your listening end. If it is, I am sorry. Just turn the volume down a little bit. I have a couple of adjustments on the converter. I've kind of set it for where I think it is at, like a broadcast level. But until I do the playback, I don't know if it's too loud or it's normal. But like I say, if it happens to be too loud, I'm sorry. Just turn your volume down on your end. I like this microphone because it looks like a microphone like from somewhat back, you know, in the 40s and 50s, in the beginning days of television, like Walter Cronkite, you know, would sit behind a rectangular microphone like this. It was a lot bigger, and they were all, you know, they were all nickel or chrome. I just think the rectangular microphones look classy. Not to mention, it has its own spit screen built right in. Yeah, it just clicks right on. Because Grumpy has a tendency to pop the microphone, if you know what I mean. But yes, when I opened YouTube this morning, I literally almost went into heart failure. I looked and I saw 60. And I was like, no, oh, this can't be right. And I looked again. And I was like, holy shit. I've got 60 subscribers overnight. I don't know what he did, but I'll tell you what. Whatever he did was fantastic. To gain me 5 subscribers that fast. I hope he didn't tell him a lie and say, oh, this is one of the greatest content creators I've ever seen. Oh. No, I doubt it. He probably said, wait, get a load of this bald-headed idiot over across the pond. Yeah. My doctor told me I have to stay away from smoking. So there. There, Doc. I'm keeping my distance. My doctor'd see this, he'd kick my ass. Matter of fact, next week he will. I recently had some tests. I had a CT scan and a chest x-ray, and there is this pulmonary nodule in my right lung. Now, if this was anything to be seriously concerned with, when I saw my oncologist 2 weeks ago, I'm sure he would have said something. Well, as I mentioned, I have a brand new primary care physician. When you start new with a doctor, they run every test from A to Z, and they turn you inside out. Well, I got a letter from my primary care physician that says, you have an appointment on the 21st. It is very important. If you have to reschedule it within a reasonable amount of time. You cannot cancel this appointment outright. Whoa! Talk about a threat. Yeah, he's telling me, you will be here. Okay, I'll be there. I don't know if I'm going to be there all bright and happy and... See, it's a morning appointment. Grumpy don't do morning appointments. So I think that's why he wrote the letter, because I told his receptionist I don't do morning appointments. Yeah. I don't do morning appointments. Mainly because I have the worst insomnia on earth. I usually don't fall asleep until like 4 a.m. To make an 11 o'clock appointment, I might as well just frickin' stay up. I seem to be getting an echo. I don't know why I'm getting an echo. Let me make an adjustment here. Is that any better? This knob don't seem like it's turning. Is that any better? I turned down the volume in my headset. I seem to be getting like... Sounds like I'm talking into the bottom of a garbage can. Although, like I say, being an XLR microphone, being converted to USB, there's some adjustments that have to be made. I just hope that the volume isn't too loud on your end, because, like I say, I'm trying to make some adjustments here. But I've noticed whenever you use this device, converting an XLR mic into a USB mic, it takes you like forever to get the audio level set right. So, for the third time, I'll apologize. If it's too loud, turn your volume down a little bit until I get this worked out. Because this device it's got 3 different adjustments, and I really don't want to mess with it too much. I mean, I'll bump this 1 more notch. There. I took it down another notch. I don't know how loud it is. Because I have to adjust the output, and then I have to adjust my headphone volumes. I know I should have done this before airtime. I usually do. I usually check, and I adjust my microphones before airtime. I got engrossed in watching a couple of YouTube videos, and by the time I, looked at the clock, I was like, oh, shit. It's almost airtime. So, I apologize for the volume. I'm already pissing off my 5 new subscribers. They're going, oh, gee, this guy can't get his volume right. His audio's all screwed up. Sorry. It's the bird's fault. Him. He's at fault. Gotta blame somebody. That's all right. I'll pay for it. He'll be up in the CEO's office Monday morning. Grumpy's blaming me for things. But what he doesn't know, Monday, don't say anything, is President's Day. The CEO won't be here. He's like a mail carrier. He's going to take the day off. The bird will be sitting outside his door going, oh, when's he coming in? Ha ha. Don't tell the bird. Yeah. And it figures. I have 2 important packages I've been waiting for. They were supposed to be here today. They got delayed because of bad weather somewhere. Now I won't get them till Tuesday. Thank you, Post Office. I think they did that deliberately. Didn't I like this? And then, I told you, I've been watching these bald eagle nests. I've been watching one in Florida, one in Louisiana, and one out in Big Bear National Forest out in San Bernardino. Yesterday, San Bernardino got hit with a nasty snowstorm. Now, there is a female bald eagle sitting on 3 eggs. I felt sorry for that poor eagle because by the time I turned the computer off yesterday afternoon, she was covered in snow. The whole nest was covered in snow, and all you could see is her head. She had snow on her wings. Well, today, she finally got the snow off her back, but there is a ring where she was sitting. Her body heat melted that snow around her. But I'll tell you what, she still kept turning them eggs on a regular basis. I hope they hatch. As a matter of fact, everybody has got their fingers crossed because last year she didn't turn the eggs enough. She had 2, and neither hatched. Now this year, the conservation officer said both parents are doing an excellent job keeping the eggs turned. As a matter of fact, when they get up to turn the eggs, they zoom the camera in. They not only turn the egg, but they kind of rotate them in a circle So they turn them one way and then they turn them another way. The conservation officer said they are doing 100% better with those eggs this year than last year. And the hilarious thing is, when mom needs to go get a bite to eat, dad is usually sitting on a limb right about over here, just off the camera. She'll start to chatter. I guess she's telling him, hey, your turn to sit on these eggs, buddy. So he hops down on the nest. She gets up. He sits on the eggs, gets all nice and comfy. And it's hilarious because evidently he must like sitting on them eggs. Because when she returns to the nest, the two of them get into a bickering match. It's hilarious to watch. It's like her going, hey, get up. And he's like, oh no, I'm nice and comfy. I'm keeping them warm. Look at me. And she's like, get your ass off that nest. And then finally he gets up and hops aside and she comes back down. It's hilarious to watch. He don't want to get off them eggs. He's being a very good parent, and they haven't hatched. Now, everybody's got their fingers crossed because the eggs are supposed to hatch anywhere between March 1st and March 6th. So, fingers crossed, because last year the eggs did not hatch. But they're taking way better care of them this year. Grumpy's turning into a real ornithologist. I have 3 computers going. I have the one over here to my left. That is the one in Louisiana. I've got 3 computers going, 3 different areas of the country watching bald eagles. If anybody would have told me 20 years ago, Grumpy, when you're old and retired and have nothing better to do during the winter, you're going to be sitting watching eagles hatch, I'd have said you're full of shit. Here I am, old, bored, and retired, watching eaglets. Now, the Florida Eagles hatched a month ago. They are pretty good size. The eagles in Louisiana hatched 2 weeks ago. They are little gray fuzzballs. They're really cute to watch. And then the San Bernardino Valley, we're waiting for 3 eggs to hatch. So we have them in 3 different stages. I'll tell you, today I was watching the Louisiana fuzzballs. I thought one was going to fall out of the nest. He was pretty close to the edge. And then Mom came back with a fish. Well, his brother is right there. He's still over at the edge of the nest. I'm like, oh, God, he's going to take a step the wrong way and we're going to lose an eaglet. Next thing, Mom tears off a piece of fish. And she does a couple of steps over, and she's waving it in front of his nose. Well, he starts grabbing for it. Mom starts stepping back towards his brother. Next thing you know, the 2 of them are side by side. I was like, oh, God, because another couple of steps, and he'd have been 150 feet down. Because that's how high the nest is in that tree. And we don't need to lose any bald eagles. You know, they're protected, not to mention they're the national bird. So, We want as many healthy eagles as we can get. And so far, we got the two in Florida that are pretty good size. Then we got the two little hatchlings. And then hopefully the first week of March, we'll have 3 more. Yeah. Every morning I come in, I turn this computer on. I read all my email. I read the news stories. And then I turn on computer 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And my neighbor, she watches hummingbirds. So she sent me a link with a hummingbird site. Now, there happen to be some little itty, although hummingbirds are small to begin with, little itty bitty hatchlings in this nest. So far, we can't tell how many are in there. There's either 3 or 4, because all you see is little heads pop up. Well, Grumpy has decided to take the Chewy computer and turn this one into a hummingbird watching computer. Now, for those of you that don't know the Chewy computer, yeah, I'll show you. Here is the Chewy computer. Now, I have small form factor computers. This is tiny. But this is going to be, how appropriate, a tiny little computer for tiny little birds. Oh. I bought this off of eBay, brand new, $46 and free shipping. I'm kind of interested to see how it's going to perform. I'm not going to be computing to Mars with this thing. I know that. But for bird watching, okay. Come on, get in the bag. Yeah. Chewy.com. Now, the interesting is, it's got Windows 11 Home Edition. It's got a Intel Celeron J4125 quad core at 2.7 gig. Got 8 gigs of RAM. It's got DDR4 micro SD card slot for extra storage. 256 gig solid state drive. Now, I heard solid state are a lot faster than the old hard disk. This will be the experiment. This is the first computer ever that I've had with solid state. Like I say, it's no big rocket. But you know, if it works for what I want it to do, and I can do some minor computing with it, it's worth $46. It was on sale. It was regular $58, free shipping. I said, I'll try the thing. Made in China. Although, what isn't today? Oh, it's a Chewy Hero Box computer. Yeah. This one's called the Hero Box. At least it's got an Intel processor. We'll see how it works. I'll keep you posted. I'll have more computers going here than the Pentagon, for Christ's sake. Yeah, you figure I got this one. And then 3 bird watching computers. There are 4. Soon to be 5. Oh, grumpy. Then you wonder why the electric bill's where it's at. That's all right. The TV station pays the electric bill. But yes, now, the computers that I've got set up right now, the 3, they're small form factors, similar to the Chewy Hero box. And they're pretty close in specs. We'll see how this thing works. You know, I bought it on a whim. Don't ask me why I bought it. I think being a small form factor, I was like, if I need an emergency computer, and it's been sitting under the console here for about 4 or 5 months now. And then I got into bird watching. So I decided I'll set another one up. I'm waiting for a couple of cables for it. I had a shitload of VGA cables. I have no idea where they went. I usually keep all my cables in one area. I need 2 more VGA cables. You think I can find any more? So I had to order them. I was like, oh, gee, I found a shitload of cables today. Brand new. I got DisplayPort to DisplayPort. I've got DisplayPort to HDMI. I've got HDMI to HDMI. I got HDMI to DVI. I got more damn cables. Think I got VGA to VGA? No. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going to order these cables. And then I'm going to find more cables. Yeah. That's all right. You can always use them for something. As a matter of fact, when I was digging through the one cabinet, I found my DVI converters. I've got two DVI to HDMI, and then I have a DVI to VGA. I forgot I even had these. Although, when DVI came into play, it was typical. I ordered a ton of... And then, of course, DVI went by the wayside, and then we went to HDMI. And then from HDMI, we go to DisplayPort. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, how many cables am I going to have to keep in the studio? That's like this monitor in front of me. It's a 43-inch curved gaming monitor. It's a HDMI to HDMI. Well, when I bought this monitor, I didn't pay attention. You think I had any HDMI cables here? No. I had to go buy them. I was like, I'm going to stock up. So I bought 3 or 4 HDMI to HDMI cables. Then the one computer that I have is DVI. I didn't have those little DVI to HDMI. So I bought a cable. DVI to HDMI. Matter of fact, hang on, I'll show it to you. Watch me trip and fall over the microphone plug here. Where's my... Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got cables everywhere. I'll tell you what, I found this seller, Gator Cable, out of Florida. Look at these. You talk about quality. Gold plated, and look at those connectors. Best cables I have ever found. And the company is called, of all things, Gator Cable out of Florida. I wonder if they're right around the Everglades and the gators are in their parking lot in the morning. But I'll tell you what, if you want high quality at a very reasonable price, go on eBay and look for Gator Cable out of Florida. I'll tell you what, I have never seen such high quality cables. And I think this cable was only like $6. You go on there and you'll find something that's half the quality for twice the price. And they tell you, if you need a special cable made, they'll make it for you. But they have every cable on. I buy all my cables from there. Every cable I've got. Because they're outstanding. And they're not sponsoring me. So, but if you need a cable, Gator Cable. Oh, I'll put that away later. Watch me trip and fall over it and break my hip. Yeah. Just happened to a friend of mine. Geez. She tripped over her dog and broke her hip. I says to her, how'd the dog get in your way? The dog was sleeping. She didn't want to wake him up, so she attempted to step over him. Slipped, fell, broke her hip. I said, Marilyn, all you had to do was tell the dog to wake up and move. I didn't want to wake him up. So, now she's in the hospital waiting surgery for an artificial hip. I guess next time she'll wake the dog up. Yeah, didn't want to wake the dog up. Tried to step over him. Now, I'm an animal lover. And my 22-pound big fat-ass cat has a bad habit of laying in the way. Right in the middle of the hallway, right in the middle of the doorway, you know. If I need to get from one room to the other and he's in the middle of the doorway, I'm like, hey, get your ass out of the way. I'm not going to step over him. Because it never fails. You'll go to step over an animal, and they will move in the direction you're stepping. And then you end up falling. Grumpy is not going to take that chance. It's bad enough I have broken my toe stepping over an animal already, so I'm not doing it no more. And then a year later, I broke the same toe. Not stepping over an animal. I wasn't wearing slippers. Ran the toe right into the corner of the wall. Oh. And you know when you break a toe, there ain't shit they can do. They taped it to some tongue depressors. And then they give me one of them big-ass monster boots. You know how much them stupid things weigh? I'd rather be dragging a cast around. Well, after a week, the boot went. I was like, I had enough of this shit. And then about 2 weeks later, the popsicle sticks went. Or, pardon me, tongue depressors. Needless to say, the toe did not heal right. It don't bother me. Kind of bent. When I went to see my new primary care physician, it fucking bothered him. He was like, oh, we need to send you to a podiatrist. I said, no, we don't. He said, yes, we do. I said, no, we don't. He said, yes, we do. You need to get that taken care of. I said, Doc, I already know how they're going to take care of it. They're going to fucking re-break it. I don't think so. I said, nope. What does he do behind my back? He makes a podiatrist appointment. I'm going to cancel it because I know what they're going to do. He's going to say, oh, no, we got to straighten that. Break, snap. Oh, no way, Jose. Mm-mm. It ain't bothering me now. It ain't going to bother me in the future. We don't need to re-break it. Oh, I already know. Friend of mine, same thing. He had one. Matter of fact, it's the big toe on the opposite foot of mine. And his wife was driving him crazy. Harold, you need to get that looked at. He's like, there ain't nothing wrong with it. It's crooked, Harold. She makes an appointment. In order to get her off his back, he goes to the podiatrist. Podiatrist says, we need to straighten that toe. He says, and how are you planning on doing that? And the podiatrist said, we're going to re-break it. At that point, he put his shoe back, put his sock on, put his shoe on, and he said, see ya, and walked out of the office. So Grumpy already knows the same thing's in store for him. So I'm just going to cancel the fucking appointment. I'm not even going to give the doctor the, he ain't getting the glory out of looking at the bent toe. Nope. Yeah, I looked at my appointment list this morning. I went in on my chart. You can access all your stuff online now. I went in, I looked, I was like, okay, 21st is primary care. I already know about that. 28th, Dr. Samurai, Samurai, podiatrist. I don't think so. So, tomorrow's Sunday. Monday, Grumpy's going to call. Hi. You know that appointment for the grumpy old man on the 28th? And his reception will say, yes. Cancel it. I ain't coming. Bye. And then I'll catch hell from my primary care doctor the next time I'll see him. But he'll say, how come you didn't go to that podiatrist? I'm going to tell him, if you want to go in my place and let him break your toe, be my guest. He ain't breaking mine. Thank you so much. Yeah, it bothered the shit out of him. I'm like, hey, you're an internal medicine doctor. What do you worry about my fucking toe for? It don't say toe doctor on your door. Oh, it bothered him. Oh, yeah. Same thing with this goofy nodule on my lung. Now, I've been told by my oncologist that sometime when tumors shrink from the chemo, they kind of crystallize. No big deal. Oh, it's bothering my primary care doctor. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. Everything bothers him. I was like, hey, if it ain't bothering me, and it ain't bothering my oncologist, why is it fucking bothering you? But see, I figured it out. The more appointments he makes, the more money the hospital gets. Yeah, they're just going to bilk my insurance company. Oh, you ought to see the list he's got for me. Vascular, I got to go for some vascular test, and then he had the podiatrist. What else did he have? Yeah, heart doctor. We're making money for the hospital. Let's set Grumpy up with 47 different doctors. We'll make lots of money off his insurance. I don't think so. Podiatrist is getting canceled on Monday. Yeah, didn't I like this? Don't get old. Because remember when you were in your 20s, your social calendar was dances and dates and bars and clubs. Then when you get old, your social calendar is 47 different doctor appointments. Yeah. So, I was trying to think of what kind of celebration I could do for my 60 subscribers. And I'm thinking, we don't need to celebrate. We just need to thank them on air for subscribing. What better than to say a nice formal thank you rather than plan a party and confetti and all that shit? We'll do that when I hit 1,000. But to get 5 subscribers overnight, and it's all from my friend in the UK. I just wonder if all 5 are from the UK. Across the pond. They're all sitting there going, Jesus Christ, them people in America are assholes. No, just me. I'm crazy. But I'm having fun being crazy. I looked at, I want a Japanese mini truck. There's a place out in California that imports them. I was looking at one today. Oh, God, I want it. First of all, it's two-tone, white and green. I'm a green freak. And this two-tone looks great on this little tiny truck. And it's only $4,000 because it's a 95. See, in order to legally import stuff and sell it, vehicles got to be over 25 years old. I don't know where this guy is finding all these mini trucks. He must have had 500 of them things in his yard. I think they're cool. They're little itty-bitty things. They're four-wheel drive, and they're right-hand drive, which would be a trip for me because, I've been driving a manual with left-hand drive since I learned to drive. I can see me trying to work that shifter going, oh, what gear am I in? But I want this one. It's a Suzuki Sambar. Sambar. Weird name. It's a four-wheel drive with a 5-speed, and it's got what they call an extra low first gear. Now, you have first, and then you got this low. And from what I've read, it creeps. It's a creeper gear. I guess if you're stuck in snow, you put it in four-wheel drive and you put it in this creeper gear. So I emailed the guy and I said, what's this creeper gear thing? He said, you could put it in this creeper gear and step out and it'll walk next to you. Well, it'll roll next to you, but he goes, you could walk next to the truck and make sure you're getting unstuck. I was like, how cool. I could see me out in the street next to the truck, have the window down, have my hand on the steering wheel, my neighbor saying, Grumpy, what are you doing? I tell him, I'm walking my truck. What does it look like? Then my neighbor would say, well, he's lost it. But yeah, the guy told me it creeps at like a half a mile an hour. I would love to try that. But yeah, it's a little 3-cylinder engine. I think it's like 660 cc's. Like 48 horsepower. But I want one. I'm just trying to figure out how I get it from California to here. I'm going to call the guy and I'm going to see what kind of negotiations I can do for a Japanese mini truck. Oh, they're cool. Matter of fact, he's got this little itty-bitty car, and it's got gull-wing doors. I would love to have that thing. I don't think I could fit in it, though, but yeah, it's got some of the stuff that he is importing from Japan. And all of these trucks are like spotless. But see, after a certain year, you can't drive this stuff in Japan. They have real strict regulations. Like vehicles over 25 years old, you got to get rid of them. Not like here in America. God, you can drive them until they fall apart. And he's got pictures of his yard out in California. And all for as far as the eye can see, little Japanese mini trucks. And the neat thing about them is they got dump beds. Now, it's got like a normal truck bed. The sides fold down, which is cool, and it dumps. I was like, how cool. 4-wheel drive. It's got the best of everything. And they're really low mileage. Of course, I have to do some converting, but like this 95 Suzuki Sandbar, it's only got 68,000 kilometers, which is going to be like 40-some thousand miles. These things aren't even broken in yet. Grumpy just needs to find somebody that'll lend him $4,000. Oh. That ain't happening. I'll figure a way. But yeah, little Japanese mini trucks. How cool. An addition to my fleet. Of course, I should be more, well, it's too goddamn cold. I got to get my RAV4 going. I got all the parts. Matter of fact, the last part, I got it the other day. Now, here's a ripoff for you. Let me show you. Come on. Can't get the box open. Whoa! Easy, Grumpy. You're going to be wearing a microphone next. Now, the last item I needed is this fuel pump relay. See how big it is? If I go to Toyota, to the dealer, $95 for this. $95 fuel pump relay. There ain't $95 worth of material here. So, I went on eBay and I found a guy down in South Carolina that imports factory Toyota parts. Right from Toyota. They're overstock. He buys all the overstock. I get this relay, okay? Now, Toyota, with tax and everything, almost $100 for this damn thing. The identical factory part number. $16 and free shipping. The same relay that Toyota wants to gouge me $100 for. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Same thing with the fuel pump. Toyota wanted $238 for the fuel pump assembly. Because the relay went bad, then it screwed up the fuel pump. I go to this guy and I said, I emailed him. I said, I got a 97 RAV4, 4-wheel drive. I need a fuel pump. How much? He emails me back. $72. $72. Toyota wants $238. So I says, this is the exact fuel pump for my car made by Toyota or from Toyota? He said, yes, it's overstock. I said, send me a picture. He sends me a picture. It's identical to the one I took out of my car. I says, I'll take it. Meanwhile, get this. The parts guy from Toyota calls back and he says, I'm placing a stock order. Do you want me to order that fuel pump assembly for you? I says, no. He goes, how are you going to get your car going? You need this fuel pump. I said, don't worry about it. I cannot believe the markup. You know, I could see a little bit. Yeah, I'm not going to begrudge somebody making a little profit. You know damn right well that when Toyota is negotiating with a vendor, they're probably buying this assembly for like $50. You know, they buy 100,000 at a time. Then the damn dealer is going to charge me almost $240? Jesus. Talk about robbery without a gun. I'll tell you what. I no longer call dealers for any parts. I just go on eBay. Like with this guy. He sells overstock Toyota factory parts. I also found a guy in Georgia that sells overstock Nissan parts. I ordered brake shoes for my Nissan pickup. I ordered rotors. I ordered calipers. I got rotors, calipers, and brake shoes. $210. If I would have bought them from Nissan, $500. Dealers are getting unreal. And Grumpy is, cheap. Yes, I'm cheap. If I got any UK listeners right now, they're going, oh my God, what did I subscribe to? Oh, geez. Although things are they're different across the pond. You got all kinds of little mom and pop shops that, you know, here in America, we're a throwaway society. That's part of our problem. Over in the UK, you guys try to save everything. Although you got a mom and pop shop for everything. You know, your vacuum cleaner quits working, you go to a vacuum cleaner guy. Over here, we just throw them away. We used to have vacuum cleaner guys. Not no more. Your toaster breaks. Do you throw it away? No, because you got some little electrical shop that'll repair your toaster. You take it to them. Here, we just go, whew, we'll buy another one. Over in the UK, you guys got it right. You save everything. Or you try. Over here, we just fucking throw it out. And then they wonder, where did all the little mom and pop repair shops go? Well, if you're not taking stuff to them, how are they going to survive? Within a mile of me, back in the day, there were 5 vacuum cleaner repair shops. 0. They're all gone. Although, the one guy told me, by the time I buy the part, which has, you know, they're all ridiculous markups. The guy tells me, I couldn't make any money. I'm going to repair a vacuum cleaner, and the bill's going to be like $55. You can go to Target and buy a brand new one for $65. So what are people going to do? Fix the old one? Nope. Whew. Throw it away. Buy a new one. When that one breaks, whew, throw it away. That's like TVs. Back in the day, within walking distance of me was a TV repair shop. But see, what people don't realize, your flat screen TV, unless you break the screen, can be repaired. Because inside that TV are 2 circuit boards. You can buy them circuit boards on eBay for like $40. But no, over here, we just throw it away and go buy a new one. I am sure over in the UK, there is a shop that fixes flat screen TVs. Unless you break the screen. That's different. But if the circuit board burns out, repairable, we don't repair nothing here anymore. We just throw it out. And that aggravates me. Because I hate to throw something away that could be repaired. But I'm not capable of fixing everything. And then they wonder why, we got landfills everywhere. Right, if you're throwing everything out, it's got to go someplace. Grumpy's on a tirade again. I'm just saying. I watched a couple of videos that showed a lot of these little mom and pop operations in the UK. Guys working out of a garage or out of a shed, Unbelievable. And you got leather workers, and you've got interior repair shops, and all kinds of stuff that we used to have that we don't have anymore. We need to follow the lead from you people over in the UK. We need to get back to being a society where we fix shit instead of throw it out. I'm beating a dead horse. It ain't going to happen here. I'll tell you that right now. That's like the sad thing. Growing up, almost on every major street corner was a little mom and pop grocery store. The buildings are still there. I drive past them and I was like, oh, that was Old Man Harold's shop, and that was Mr. Wilson's shop, and that was George Thompson's shop. They're still there, the buildings. The little stores are gone because the big supermarkets put everybody out of business. Plus, it got too expensive. Why would somebody go to, Mr. Thompson's butcher shop and pay $3 for a pound of pork chops when you could go buy them at the supermarket for $2, Of course, those are prices from back in the day. Jesus. I don't buy a lot of fresh meat. The other day, at the supermarket, I decided to take a look at the price of steaks. I haven't had a steak in years. And my favorite steak is a porterhouse. $23 a pound for a steak. I almost shit myself. I picked that steak up. You got to be kidding me. And the guy from the meat department was straightening out, merchandise. And I said, is this price right? He's, well, yes. I said, this steak is $25? He said, well, yes, it's a porterhouse. I gently put that steak back down. I was, oh. Back in the day, for $25, I could almost buy a side of beef. I was in shock. Because, like I say, I don't buy a lot of fresh meat. $25 for one goddamn steak. I'm like, how do people with families fucking survive? How do they feed these kids? I guess I'm really out of touch. Let's see. I'm a soup and sandwich guy. First of all, it's a quick meal. Second of all, it's an easy meal. I don't need to stock, beef and pork chops and all. I buy what I need. But I haven't bought a steak in ages. And I'm never going to. Not at $25 for one steak. That would be a steak where you take a bite today, then you warm it up and you take another bite tomorrow, and you make that steak last for a week. Holy yatchafuck. Talk about shock. They talk about sticker shock when you go in to buy a new car. I got sticker shock at the goddamn grocery store. Unbelievable. You should have seen how careful I put that steak down. I don't want to hurt it because you bend it, you buy it. Grumpy, you bent that steak. You buying it now. No, thank you. The guy in the meat department was watching me put that steak back down very gently. The look on his face like, oh, God, this guy's lost his marbles. No, I didn't want to bend that steak for fear I'd have to buy it. $25, that's my budget. One steak. I can almost imagine what it would have cost me, to buy a big potato, to bake, little salad. Jesus Christ. But see, I rarely go to a big grocery store. I just run up to the little corner market, get what I need. First of all, the big grocery stores are way overpriced. Not to mention, they're too goddamn big. It'll take me 2 hours to find everything I need. So I just go to the little corner place. I know where everything's at. The grocery store down the street for me is about the size of a fucking stadium. By the time you get done shopping, I need to take a nap, And there is no need to have 47 of one item on a shelf. You don't need that. You know, five, not a whole. Calm down, Grumpy. Your blood pressure's going up. The veins are popping out of your head. That's another thing. My primary care doctor. You need to buy a blood pressure meter. Why? Because you need to take your blood pressure. Why? Your nurse takes it when I come in. No, you need to take it daily. I'm not coming in your office daily. That's why you need to buy a blood pressure meter. So Grumpy bought a blood pressure meter. Cute little thing. Goes around your car like it. Every morning, as soon as I get up, I have to take my blood pressure. Then my doctor, I got him. I'd like to screw with him. So he says to me, when you get that blood pressure meter, as soon as you wake up, empty your bladder, take your blood pressure. So I says to him, Doc, I just bought a new mattress. He kind of looked at me, goes, yeah. Well, you told me as soon as I wake up to empty my bladder. Can I get out of bed and go to the bathroom? He was like, oh, Jesus. I got him, though. I got him. I made him look. I says to him, what's the big deal? Well, if you have a full bladder, your blood pressure will read higher. Okay, I'll empty every fluid in my body to keep the blood pressure down. So far, it's been okay. Then he tells me, see, he don't trust you. When you come to my office on the 21st, I want you to bring a chart with your morning blood pressure and the blood pressure machine you're using. So every morning, watch him tell me, I don't like that machine. You got to buy a different one. I ain't buying a different one. It's that or nothing. Although I got that one on sale. Walmart. It's whoop, easy. It's rechargeable. That's what I like. It's rechargeable. Little cuff goes around your arm, you know. On clearance. Because Walmart's not carrying this model anymore. They're carrying a better one, more expensive. On clearance, I got this machine that's got a charging cable, you know, neat little carry case. $6.95. I'm cheap. The only difference between this one, which they've done away with, and the new one is the new one has a memory. I have a pen and paper. I don't need to pay $22 for a machine when a $7 machine without a memory will work. Yeah. They're getting rid of this one because it doesn't have any memory. I have what's called pen and paper. I don't need my machine to memorize things. Yeah, that's how these stores get you. Oh, we're not going to sell the cheaper one. Oh, we're going to gouge the public. And we're going to buy a more expensive machine. Well, I just happened to hit that one right. It does what it's supposed to. It takes my blood pressure. I don't need it to have a little memory card. No. I have a pen and paper and a notebook. I'll just take the notebook and say, here, Doc. Oh, no. He'll probably say, I don't trust you. I want the one with the memory card. I'm not buying the one with the memory card. Yeah. Everything's got to have a memory card. That's like everything's got to have an app. Oh, apps drive me crazy. Although everything you buy has an app. That's like my neighbor. She needed a Wi-Fi extender. Okay? So she bought one. In order to get it to work, you have to download an app to program the Wi-Fi extender. Everything has to have an app. Ridiculous. I have an old Wi-Fi extender I bought like 5 years ago. You plug it in and you push a button. And it automatically connects with my router. Not today. In order to get it to connect to your router, you need to download an app. How asinine. And they don't make the one where you push the button anymore. Oh, no. You have to download an app. Grumpy ain't downloading no apps. That's like a friend of mine. He bought a drone. In order to operate the drone, because this one doesn't have a screen, you have to download an app for your cell phone. So he downloads the app, and on the controller is a little arm that comes up, and the cell phone snaps into the arm, okay? Typical Chinese crap. On the top of the arm is a little notch to hold the cell phone. But on the bottom, they forgot to put the little notch. Okay? So, he takes the drone outside. He opens the app. He snaps his cell phone into the controller. Okay? The drone takes off because it's got auto launch. Yeah. It's got a button on the controller. Drone goes up. Now he's watching the drone camera on his cell phone. All of a sudden, because of the tension on the clip and not being a foot. Now, mind you, remember, it's got a little tab. No tab down here. Just as he's flying the drone, the controller launches his cell phone right out of the controller. Where does the cell phone land? In a fucking puddle. And his cell phone is not waterproof. So, the $80 drone now cost him $380 because he had to buy a new goddamn cell phone. I was like, oh, jeez. That's why I hate apps. But yeah, typical Chinese crap. They engineer the little stay right up here, not down at the bottom. And the tension was so stiff, it launched his cell phone. Guess who has the drone? Grumpy. He gave it to me. He said, here, I don't want this goddamn thing anymore. I says, well, after what you went through, I'm not downloading no app. Although, I figured something out. And so far it works. You know that double stick tape? I put a piece of double stick tape on the bottom. And a piece of double stick tape at the top. Holds the cell phone really nice, although it's an old cell phone. If it gets launched, it ain't going to piss me off. But so far, it works. And with the cell phone just being Wi-Fi, I don't have to have a SIM card to activate it and all that other bullshit. But yeah, first time he takes the damn drone out, the controller launched the cell phone. And now Grumpy has the drone. I've yet to fly it. I was just testing the double stick tape. But you would see, this is the problem. China don't have no goddamn quality control on anything. All the reverse engineering and all the bullshit that they do. Wouldn't you think one of the engineers would have said, gee, we got a little clip up here. How come there ain't one down here? No. Nobody bothered to check. Now, mind you, if there'd have been a tab down here and a tab up here, my buddy wouldn't have had to spend $300 to buy another cell phone. But yeah, he told me, he said he had the drone up, he was having a good time. And all of a sudden, what? There went the phone, launched it like somebody shot it out of a slingshot. And where does it land? In a puddle of water. When he told me the story, my ribs were sore from trying to hold my breath not to laugh. As soon as I got in the truck, oh my God, yeah. Yeah. It launched his... Yeah. I'll show you. Where's the zipper? Here we go. Here we go. Here's... Now, up top here is a little clip, a little down here, perfectly smooth. And the tension on this thing is Worse than a spring on a truck. Yeah, he had the cell phone in there and it... Double stick tape on the cell phone. I've yet to fly the drone. I've been testing it. I've been walking around the house with the cell phone in the controller to make sure it don't, but it's an old cell phone. But even so, I don't want it to break. Oh, what a day. I think Grumpy's going to wrap it up. Oh my God, I've got somebody live on Faceplant. I don't know how long you've been there. I haven't been paying attention, but... Well, they were live on Faceplant. I scared them away. Okay. Time to play the outro. Oh, we know where. Right here, WDWL TV. Tomorrow, around 7 p.m. And with that, people, have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will see you again right here. Meeting time around 7 p.m. Have a great night.